Hello, this is Matt Singer. I am the arts and culture editor at Willamette Week, and my guest today is Chris Willis. Chris is a local artist behind one of Portland's kind of under the radar holiday traditions, the Santa Clones. And Chris, maybe you can kind of just start here by kind of describing what the Santa Clones is and a little bit of the history behind the project.
Yeah, thanks, Matt. I started them back in 2010. Had a collection of them, maybe about 150 at the time, and I thought, they, look really great in an empty storefront somewhere. So started my search, found a place on East Burnside, I believe, and just got tons of response. It was all pre-Instagram, so it was word of mouth. Willamette Week did a little write-up on it in their on their old website as well, so that was kind of cool. But it just really caught on, and I thought, well, maybe there's just something here. Start rounding up more on eBay. How many is too many? And just started taking it around town. It really depends on where the property manager or landlord or owner agrees to set this up. So it's been pretty great. It moves all around town. So it's just definitely taken off in these last 10 years.
So, how many mini Santas are you up to now?
Yeah, I'm up to about 400 right now. They're not all out this year. Just the configuration that I had, I think there's about 375, but still total collection about 400.
Wow. And
Yeah.
and there's kind of like a almost like a scavenger hunt element to
Yeah.
this, right? You don't ever reveal exactly where they are year to year.
Yeah, that started a few years ago. I installed them on a friend's front lawn, and for some reason on that year on Instagram, I thought it'd be fun just to kind of give clues, not to give an exact location for it, and really got amazing responses. People loved the idea of trying to find these things. The clues were pretty simple, but anybody from the area would be able to kind of figure that out. And really, when you get close to them, you can't miss them. I mean, the glow is just amazing. But yeah, so I've continued that on. That's really become part of people's tradition, is seeking them out and kind of going on the hunt for the Santa clones, which I think is great. Never would have anticipated that.
So, how has the pandemic then sort of what was the impact on the Santa clones, and how did it change how you sort of approached the project this year?
I thought initially, I thought, because, masks are such a big part of our everyday lives, or, at least they should be. I thought it makes perfect sense that the clones would have masks on at the time. And really, it wasn't about, initially, it wasn't really about kind of saying, hey, look, you can still have, a perfectly fine holiday and celebrate while being safe and smart about it. It was more like, just from an aesthetic standpoint, I thought that just was so relevant and so timely to what is going on now, putting little masks on all of these. So I had to start about 3 or 4 weeks ago. I started coming up with ideas of how to make these things, producible in mass quantities, because 400 little masks take a while to put together for sure.
Yeah, I mean, are they actual like little cloth masks?
Oh,
Like, are,
they're like, I have one here. They're just like a little shop towel,
no.
cut out with rubber bands strapped to it. But, from a quick point of view, it looks like the little disposable surgical masks, but, people get it.
How did it affect where you had to where you set them up? I mean, did you have to take into consideration the fact that there's not a lot of people that are uh, theoretically are not supposed to be really leaving their house that often? So that were there other considerations with
Yeah,
that?
yeah, for sure. I mean, I thought about, just is, is it responsible to put something out like I've put out every year and encourage people to kind of go out and look for this? This year's location actually worked out really well. Not only, for, again, people coming across it, but also, again, people looking for it. I think will notice that it's sort of laid out to where you can really social distance. There's 4 big windows on this corner space, and each window has a little group of Santas set out in front of it. So you can kind of pick which window you want to look at and check it out, and not and definitely be able to be spaced out from people. There's little signs there that let people know, hey, make sure you respect other people's spaces. But it's surprising, people are out and about, again, everybody's wearing masks and looking like in they're staying safe, but there are a lot of people out there. I think people definitely would be out whether the Santas were or not.
What are some of the reactions you've gotten to the Santa clones? You said that people obviously responded pretty well to it for you to just kind of keep doing this for what, geez, a decade now.
Yeah, yeah.
What are some interactions that jump out in your mind that you've heard from people?
Oh, everything from just the nostalgia of it. Oh, my grandmother had one of those little Santas as well. Or, this thing is great. Thank you for doing it this year. Of all the years, this one, felt the most deserving to have something like this. It's just the idea of, giving people, one thing that, the people that knew about it, giving them something that they could look forward to and still was part of their holiday tradition, and that, this wasn't also, taken away or prevented by, COVID.
Mhm. What would you say is like your motivating force behind doing this? I mean, is there like an artist statement that you would give for the Santa clones, for kind of what you want people to get from this?
Yeah. I think I was mentioning earlier, initially back in 2010, it was this aesthetic kind of thing. I think I was either seeing images of or thinking about the, China's first emperors, terracotta warriors, and just that whole kind of repeated figure kind of motif. And I thought, oh, that would be amazing, with all these little Santas, because I also collect other figures from this same company, Empire Plastics, from Tarboro, North Carolina, made these all through the ones that I collect are all late 60s, early 70s. But I did have a couple of these little Santas, and I just thought this would be amazing to see them all lit up together. So there's kind of that. There's a pop art, kind of aspect to it as well. But it's really kind of evolved now into just, how can I, set them up in different ways in different spaces, find a space, see what sort of formation or what sort of configuration works best for that, and really doing it for the people that are so excited and enthusiastic about it. That's been the biggest thing that feeds me to keep doing this. It's just that people get it or appreciate it on so many different levels, and that's kind of great. It doesn't have to mean one thing to everybody.